What's up? So we are back. Well, not we're back. This is episode 1 of me editing some photos. And what this is basically is just me, more or less, showing you how I edit and what goes on behind the scenes of when I edit a photo. So without further ado, let's open the Lightroom and get cracking. So we're in Lightroom here, and the first thing I'm going to want to do is crop this and just get that black thing out from underneath the bottom. Now next I'm going to want to add some blue into the image. About that should do. I'll up the exposure just a bit and then whack in some contrast. I'll put highlights down just a bit, and then up the shadows. Now with the whites, if you hold Alt or Command on your keyboard, you will be able to see what's being affected. So I might bring those down just so I can't see anything else. Just about there. You might brighten up a bit first. And the same with the blacks. So if you hold Alt or Command, you can see where it's being affected. So I might just bring this down a bit and then brighten up the image a bit. So next we're going to go with clarity. So for this image I'm going to put the clarity down just a bit, and I'll put some haze in, and I'll add some texture. Now vibrance I'll put up around 13 and do the same for saturation, except the other way. And for this I just do it to even out the colour profile of the picture and just make it a bit more even. Next we will go to the tone curve. Now this is still a bit of uncertainty for me, but I'm getting there. And I know it does look scary, but it's not that hard as it seems. So for this one, I'm going to just raise the shadows just a bit, and then I'll bring this down here just to even it back down. But basically what that does is just creates a bit of a fade in the image, especially the shadows and the blacks, which is this quadrant here. Now I'll go to the red curve, and what I'll do, I'll just slightly bring it up, just the slightest, and I'll do the same with the green. But then for the blue one, I'll bring it up just a bit more, so as to bring a lot of blues back into the image. So I'll just even this out, put that a bit more, bring that down just a bit. Alright, liking how that looks. So next we'll go down to the camera calibration. And for these I usually do the same settings, so that'll be around -33 for the blue, with about +36 for saturation. And then for the greens I'll do about +69. Don't laugh. My bad. And then I'll put the saturation down to about -35. And then for the reds, I'll put that up to about 21, and then put the saturation up to about 12. Next I'll add some grain. What this does is just makes the image more natural. And then I'll add a bit of a vignette. So this just darkens the corners of the image a bit and brings more focus towards the center, or where you want the viewer's eyes to go. So I usually go around this, put a bit midpoint, feather it out. That's looking pretty good. Next, I'll do a bit of sharpening, usually around 90. If you hold Alt or Command on your keyboard for masking, you can actually see what lines and areas are being affected. So I usually like to go around 50 or 60. So this, I'll just go around 57. And then to compensate for the sharpening, I'll just add around like 10 for luminance. Alright, now split toning. So what this does, it adds a certain colour to the overall image in the highlights or the shadows, and you can adjust the saturation for that certain colour. So if you hold Alt again, you can slide the colour slider along, and you can see what colour will affect the highlights. As you can see here, the colours are changing as I move my slider along. Now bear in mind, it's not changing the colour to the overall, it's just seeing the colour that would affect in 100% saturation. So usually I like to go around 240, which is a nice purpley blue, and I'll add around 9 for saturation. And for the shadows, I'll do around 210, which is more of a blue colour, and I'll go around 5 for saturation. Now if you click here, you can see that it's just added a bit more blue to the overall image. And now we'll go to the HSL, which in my opinion is the most important part of editing any photo, because it just basically colour grades the overall image, and you have a lot of control with the colours at your hand. So for the reds, you can see the colour of the car is here. I'll push them a bit towards the magentas, but not too much. Orange, see it affects this thing, whatever it is, and these road signs. So I do like the orange is a bit more red. I push it more that side. Yellows, again it's affecting the kind of same areas, and this taxi in the background. So I just push the yellows a bit more to the orange side. Greens, there's not much, so I'll just leave that. Now aqua, there's a lot in the sky, in these signs and on the roads here, so I was going to put those a bit towards the blue, and then with the blues, which are affecting practically the same areas, I'm going to push those more to the aqua. Purples, they can stay. Magentas, they can stay as well. So we're going down to saturation. You can see it's really affecting these two colours right here. So I'm going to desaturate them just a bit. Oranges, I'll desaturate them. Yellow, I'll put the saturation up. Greens, it's not really being affected too much, so I'll just leave those. I'm going to saturate the aquas a bit and then desaturate the blues just a tad. Now I might saturate the reds just a bit more. Those are, yes, purple and magenta, so there is a bit in the windshield, so I'm just going to desaturate that as well as magenta. Now luminance, so with luminance it just basically brightens or deepens the colour at hand. As you can see, when I up the luminance for the red, it goes really bright, and when it becomes really dark when I push it down. So I'm just going to bump that up just a bit. Oranges, bump that up as well. Yellows, bump that up too. Greens, leave the same. Aqua, I'm going to push that up a bit and then put down the blues a tad as well. Magentas and purples, I'm going to push up the purple. As you can see, there's a bit of reflection in the windscreen of the car. And the magenta, same thing, so I'll push that up a bit as well. Now just look at the before and the after. We've got a really nice blue image going. I'm just going to come back up to the general corrections, which is all this stuff here like exposure, contrast, highlights and shadows. And I'm just going to put a bit more contrast back in the image, and then we'll do some filters. So the first one I want to do is with the graduated filter, which you can press M on your keyboard, and I just want to bring it up just over this orange thing. I don't even know what it is actually. I think it might be one of those like roadblocks. Anyway, regardless, it's just there for a reflection. But anyway, I just want to bring this up, bring the exposure down, and then bring out the clarity. And I might just put some more back into it, or blues. I like the blues a lot better. So I'm liking that, and then I might try and put some haze, like a misty haze, in this little sky bit here. So to do that, we'll grab a radial filter and we'll just bring it down the side here, and make sure to invert it, and I'll put the feathering down quite a bit. To get that misty look, you want to bring the dehaze down and the clarity down as well. As you get a kind of glow, you'll put the highlights up. You can see it kind of is just glowing out here now. And then I might add some temperature to that, just a bit. And I might put the feathering down a bit as well, to just get more of that area. Bring that down. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that a lot actually. It's looking really nice. Yeah, let's look at the before, the after. Liking that quite a lot. So that's it for me today. Check out my Instagram, which will be here or something, I don't know. And yeah, I'll post all my photos there. Check it out. If you did like this video, let me know as well if you learnt something, which is the aim of this, I guess. And yeah, till next time, see you later.